out on Busan as well. My goodness. I never thought I'd live to see the day, to be honest with you. Same old composition, same old. I think Leaf just got punch. Yeah, Leaf just got checked pretty hard by Kib. Whoops-a-daisy. France now on the back foot of things, unless Hardest can get something done here. Both grass has been used as well, so Tech 36 might be in a little bit of trouble. Just get booted away. KSP is going to find the killing blow. UK will claim the point.
Move on forward right now. Definitely in their favor is that momentum. They're going to try and get away right here, and UK getting so aggressive. We saw FD go try and get a boop on Fusion to put him into a very unhealthy situation. Jaws, but Leaf was already dead. Kib had his number the entire time. He was like, I'm just going to duck behind this pillar. You're going to come in, you're going to try and make a play? No, I'm just going to play the defensive Doomfist. That variability in playstyle that there's potential for here really is a boon for Team UK. Kib's almost got himself that Meteor Strike ready to go, Jaws.
And he has. You've got to be careful though, Fusion's here in that Supercharger as well. Coalescence coming out and ripping through Tech. You saw the boot there by Funny Astro, the Premier Lucio player from the UK. Uh-oh, Kit. Okay, he did not expect that damage coming out, and he did an Astro to get pounded into a wall. That's 2 people down now for the UK. I take that back. It's now 3 as Hardest pushes himself forward, but no DPS damage dealers left for the UK, really. I mean, KSP can come back in, but he's also low. Had to use that Death Blossom to get out of dodge, but Leaf cancelling the ultimate and receiving the beat in tow as well. UK continue to hold the point, however, as FD God does find the kill onto KSP. Fusion's laying down that Supercharger and finishing off Chubbs, but Leaf's going to be able to go super aggro now as he does have ult online. Now, Fusion's in the wrong side of the map, gets punched into a wall, taken out by Tech 36 as France potentially looking to secure control.
Beautiful knockback right there. Leaf's just going to try to go to town on them, but we're seeing Smex use the kinetic grasp, sending everyone down to the ground, down to the grave too.
They're so far along in this fight now for France. They have to make something work. UK continue to hold the point. They started this fight around 40%, is now upwards of 80 as France finally find the flip.
During his Death Blossom, not going to have that available now. France get the flip right here, but they're down on members. KSP surging forward, and Funny Astro, he's got that speed boost active. You know what the boy's up to.
This should be here really for UK once again. This fight, like I said, just took so long. France now have 1 fight to get back into this, only scored 15%.
Going to be using that Gravitic Flux, Jaws. That's all they've got. Funny Astro still a little bit away from that Sambo, so this could be Tech 36 being the hero that France needs to get back into this stage of Busan. Right now, France do not want to telegraph their direction, but we've got to make sure they can actually touch this point. It may well be that FD God comes in from another angle, the same can be said of Leaf.
That's a nice hold, that's a nice flux as well. Tech now, eye in the sky as he tries to just focus down Smex. Aggression does land, but the Coalescence is going to aid in the healing to make sure Smex stays alive. And now OT is in session, but the rest of France are already going to get cleared out. Clean sweep and a couple of tactical crouches as well for the UK boys as they finish the first map. 100 to 15% domination from the UK so far.
The notorious KYB and the notorious KSP definitely bringing out those tactical crouches, trying to get in the heads of the French members who evidently must be elated right now. Like we touched on at the beginning, Joel Z just beat South Korea. Something that I'm pretty sure no one would have expected, apart from some deliberately contrarian predictions. United Kingdom coming off quite the loss to South Korea. If we're doing like transitive property power rankings, right now, UK are looking pretty low. But starting off well, Control was their best map against South Korea. May well be the same with France.
Same on comms, although KSP is going to teleport everybody forward. Hardest did the same thing, then teleports himself. It's all about setting up these backboards if you're the Doomfist. This is one of the most perfect maps to do so. Almost instantly taken out Hardest. He was quite lucky. He bounced off there and survived with a minimal HP. Trading blows once again, just rotating the cooldowns rather well, but Tech 36 got booped into the rest of the UK. Funny Astro, known for its aggressive play on the Lucio, making it work so far as they take out both tanks now for Team France. They end up backing off, losing the first fight again, and UK are going to be able to claim control of the point.
And UK here.
Oh my goodness, please.
Funny Astro, he can be a bit of a troll sometimes. He's on Philadelphia Fusion now. He's got himself an owl slot. Doesn't need to worry about madness as much. France, they're being flummoxed right now by the UK's altering of strategies. They're not just counterpunching this time. Instead, they're going to try and focus down France's tank line, like we saw there. The boof on Tech 36 was very effective. Doesn't look like they saw France coming onto the point. They get the flip for free.
That is a free flip if I've ever seen one myself. Smex going low again. He's going to have to get healed up, and a huge meteor strike Smeg's got aggressed on there rather heavily. France saw blood in the water and was like, okay, so we're just going to aggro on him, right? And then Kib comes straight back in with a meteor strike. Takes him out cleanly. France getting 1 extra percent than they did last map. United Kingdom now 20% on board and building.
Iteration and improvement, Jaws. That's what it's all about. Smex can throw down a long accretion here, but this time, France may well try and make another rotation. Confuse United Kingdom instead, this time straight down, trying to punch him in the nose.
Meteor strike coming out. There's going to be the hold. Lee finds a lot of damage, but using all his cooldowns before he can get out. He's 15 HP. Someone has to kill him. Finally, Smex finishes him off. An accretion kill into the Orisa 2. There's going to be a Death Blossom available for KSP, but I don't think he's actually going to need it as he cleans up the rest. And the UK, once again, surging forward. Spawn trapping France almost.
It's KSP and Kib, we'd allow them a little bit of room, giving them the idea that they may be able to just punch in, have a good chance. Maybe we're going to get an early pick, but no, the counter-attack, the bend, and the fling back like nasty elastic. So strong from United Kingdom. And now they've got 5 ultimates for this next fight. KSP scouting this time. Wants to make sure that if France make a rotation, it's going to be telegraphed and they're going to know exactly where to put them.
KSP still
early beat
with the Death Blossom. Both beats have been used now. A bit later for UK, so they're going to get a bit of extra overshield. A bit more overlap. Both superchargers have gone down as well. UK scurry back onto the point, setting up Kib perfectly for the punch. Kib ends up going down, and now UK healer advantage on their side. France are going to have to make something work. Tech throws in the flux, but doesn't really find it all too much. A halt into a meteor strike. The extra damage from KSP's ult as well is going to finish off the rest of France, and the UK are going to hold, and they're only 10% for France to fight with.
They are going to Jaws. France, I don't know if they're going to be able to touch the point. UK looking dominant here as we finish off Busan. Chubb's going to make it on just about. FD God's here too, but he's already dead.
Yeah, Hardest ain't going to make it back too easily either. Gonna have to blow his Wraithrock rather easily, but they only need 1 pick. Hardest ends up finding it. Can they find anything more? That is the question. A beautiful hole into some hyperspheres. Finishes off the front line. Hip and Hardest end up going down, and now Smex with the flux brings everybody up. Although that meteor strike is gonna save Leaf for the time being, but the accretion detonates straight for him. A punch to finish it all. OT ticks down, and United Kingdom will finish Busan 2-0.
A beautiful display there from the UK lads. Smex is looking so good on this Sigma, and definitely throughout the World Cup, it's been punctuated by good Sigma play, be it Elsa, whether you're going to bring out Brucin, whether you're going to be looking maybe occasionally Tech 36. Smex representing well. And this is also a tournament where there's a lot to prove for a couple of members of Great British roster, Jaws. Kib and Fusions especially. Fusion started off very well on Boston Uprising and made it to the Stage 1 playoffs, but that team fell apart very fast and were very much not a contender for any real wins towards the end of the season. And obviously Kib rode the bench with Guangzhou Charge, was traded over to Philly Fusion, rode the bench there, and now he's been released. This is where Kib has to create an advertisement for himself as an Overwatch League player to get back in on a starter spot.
Just mad talent. To be fair, on both sides as well. We had France a little bit earlier on today. They got 3-0'd by the US. So not the best start in the world, but there's still a chance for a turnaround.
Evidently they learned a lot to have gone over to South Korea and given them a right rollicking, for want of a better word. Going now over onto Hybrid, which is going to be Kings Row, home turf for the UK lads. And I wonder if we're going to be seeing any shenanigans come out here. We could see potentially a little bit of Pharaoh. We saw plenty of it from China, but I don't know if Leaf's going to want to continue to play that when he thinks he may well be able to win the Doomfist duel against Kib.
I think when you look at the UK roster as a whole too, thinking about how much of a backbone that Fusions is to the team. Fusions was such a dominating force when he was in EU contenders on British Hurricane. Funny Astro obviously had time there as well. Was subbed in more often than not just for control and then moving on to Hollywood as well. But Funny Astro has really made a name for himself as one of the most aggressive Lucio players, and the best Lucio player I'd say probably hands down in EU that we have currently, or well, not anymore of course, as he's moving over to Philadelphia Fusion. Congratulations on that one. And there's going to be a lot of experience, not only just on the side of like playing Overwatch for a long time, but like having the synergy as well. Fusions and Funny Astro been working together for such a long time, and of course Kib was on British Hurricane too. There's just almost like a reunion in some senses.
As well, you can also, with Fusions, you can definitely move into that roster very easily because it's such a powerful communicator. Fusions will relay every morsel of information that is required to you in incredibly fast and incredibly loud terms, as many of us have heard. If you've ever witnessed Fusion's give a post-match interview in the Overwatch League, his voice is pretty dead by the end of it. He's very loud during the games, and that can be a huge boon. Like, it gives you authority to the call, so everyone listens to what the main tank is saying, and that is super necessary when, like Team UK, you are running a double main support roster. You're running both Cruz and you're running Funny Astro. And in those situations, you need that consistency in the main tank shot caller so you can have the main support be here and there.
Yeah, that you can. I want to see if they're going to sub-Cruz in at any one point.
It's entirely possible. I imagine they will actually bring in Cruz when they want to potentially swap over to a pharmacy. I think if you're running pure Lucio, Funny Astro is your better choice, but to be able to flex between those two, while Funny Astro is a good Mercy, I think Cruz is likely the better choice to do that with. Not going to be subbed in this time, though.
Yeah, defense for Kings Row. France choose to attack first. Funny Astro and Boombox on the support line. See what see what United Kingdom want to do. It's like don't want to run Kib on the Doom. More than happy just to have the Mei instead. Now KSP is going to be able to set up rather nicely with the Mei, of course, when people want to like hold S to get back past the choke. You put that wall up and then you kind of run towards them, right? But not only that, we've seen a lot of combos where Fusions is just pulling people together for KSP and just like, okay, shoot this ball of people.
Yeah, just creating a spicy meatball for KSP to chew into, and the same can be done with the primary fire of the Majors. With recent updates in the last couple of months, you now have piercing primary fire. You can freeze multiple people at once, and that creates a huge amount of panic in the communications of an enemy team. That's a good teleporter right there. Soon's got himself a nice little push. UK is going to scatter. They've been cut in half right now, and Soon's been put up on high, but he's very well shielded here. Good job. Oh, Soon, okay. It's okay. Small heart palpitation right there. UK need to decide whether they want to go there. They're about to be rotated on by France, who now have this high ground. They're continuing to put Soon up onto the wall, but the response is really good. FD God consistently giving him a well-placed immortality field, and the shields are keeping him safe.
Yeah, not only that, there's no sleep dart or no nade on the side of UK either, so it's kind of hard to dislodge Soon. Now France are going to put themselves on the point. Chubbs is all alone, though. He's going to have to be a little bit careful. He gets taken out by KSP. Leaf making mean work of the tank line in the front, though. Forcing out that grasp from the Sigma is going to be fairly important. In fact, a coalescence as Boombox just chases Leaf down. He has got the Mega, so he's more than safe for the time being, but that does leave Soon with one less person to defend him with.
Hip right now, pocketing Soon, thinks that that's the best use of his time, and potentially it is. Have to return now to Leaf, who's having a lot of attention put towards him. Holt into
Big barrage. That's what you want to see. Leaf taking out Fusions and Smex. Nice little Holt. That just damage boost, of course, on the barrage, just doing so much work to the shields. They didn't stand a chance.
I wonder if we're going to see United Kingdom swap up anything. They still have a Mei, which is a great counter to the Bastion jaws, but France seems so studious with how well they're protected. Look at this. They're just body blocking as well, making sure that there's not going to be any stray bullet moving into their possibly the most famous and most well-renowned French player in the world in Soon. And Leaf is just creating such a good distraction here. We saw the exact same strategy come out of China on Route 66, where they were able to gain a huge bevy of space by taxing the communications of a team that had to deal with two separate units.
Soon's on the payload, shields down for Fusions already, then put the wall in between them, but that cart is going to block most of it and actually give Soon a little bit more cover there. They actually so needed. Top of the tank form too. There's a lot of damage boosts going on from Hip as well. Like, there's not really much you can do for UK. You got your back against the wall. That splash damage from the tank shells just doing so much work. And France are going to continue to get the payload moving on one of the hardest points to defend currently in this meta.
4 minutes and 10 seconds. France looking very good when it comes to this time bank jaws. This is a very hard point to defend, but if you're going to defend it anywhere, the end of point B is fantastic, because when you get picks early in the fight, that's when it's going to take so long for people to respawn. There's no one really on France who has that huge speed unless you kill Hip. And even then, someone has to go back to pick him up. No one caught out thus far, just sending Soon up high with that wall. Thus far, UK seem absolutely confused as to how to deal with this, and they're actually allowing Soon to pick up all this poke to get the...
Well, KSP is on the flank carry. Plug's available for Tech 36 now. Beat was already used from the UK. Leaf up on the high ground. UK did not see that one coming. Fusion and Boombox end up going down. Funny Astro finds the pick onto Leaf, though. Not the worst rebound of the fight. However, Tech 36 still has Flux. They throw in the Blizzard on top of the payload, and they force France to actually back off here. And Chubbs actually ends up going down, so Funny Astro taking out Leaf from the skies. Really was the snowball that they needed to take this fight.
Like, you definitely hold him in high regard for a reason. This guy's doing so much damage right now. Funny Astro is already 55% of the way to his next beat. France trying to re-engage, but they don't have the respawns right now, really. Gonna have to look for a res, but they don't really have the room to do it. UK have claimed this space back. KSP's ready to try and reinforce as well, using that Death Blossom, and now France are in a much worse position because they have to put Soon into a starting position rather than having it already.
Look at that, though. That window doing so much work, but KSP in the back, he gets walled up to stop that grass from going off. It ate most of it, but the damage has been done. Soon is down, but the resurrection is going to come through. Oh my goodness, FD God with the clutch immortality field to make sure Soon stays alive and fighting in this fight. UK are thwarted on this point as France end up capping.
Soon they will have died early in that, but it was Leaf who was like, okay, that's cool, I'm still a part of this team as well. Notice me on my signature defense. He's going back over to the Farah, where the lower ceilings are available. Potentially daring United Kingdom here to go over to a hit scan hero who's weaker against this double shield. Nice body block there coming through to make sure Soon does not get hit by the accretion jaws. France, good momentum on their side. 3 minutes and 30 in the time bank, and no Orisa, or no Sigma rather, for the UK.
As Coalescence, they still want to try to make something work here. Soon on the tank form, tries to get a bit of aerial velocity. Is using the tank to send him up to the skies. Funny Astro does end up going down. In fact, Tech 36 with the graph did eat the Blizzard as well from Kib, so now even less tools in the bank for the UK to defend. France steamrolling through the UK right now.
Evidently King's Row is one of their favoured maps. Hipspace did just AFK on the payload right now. And we're going to see Soon and Leaf have such a monopoly on these locations United Kingdom have to come out of. They may have to cash in their entire ult bank to try and buy stability. Down goes the Supercharger. Leaf needs to get away, cannot afford to be halted.
There's a flux signal sent up into the skies. That beat's going to come down as well. KSP in the back takes care of the immortality field, but the rest of his team aren't quite so lucky. Soon is going to go down. So now there's not too much damage as long as Leaf is controlled and contained, but he's not letting UK anywhere near him, and they managed to rest him as well. Leaf's got the barrage in the back. This could be all over for the UK. They have to step out. They have to touch the payload. The grasp is going to eat some of it, but not the rest. That'll be France sinking the payload home as soon as they clear this Sigma off. Boombox comes in with the Coalescence, but it's not going to be there.
The space that Tech 36 made was so important, allowing him to get that res on Soon. And he's just a monster after that. You can't deal with it. You've got to be touching the cart. The cart's gotten away from you. It's about to go in. And then you've got to look up at Leaf in the sky as well. Who is dealing with Leaf? We saw Smex throw out an accretion, gave it a try. But the Halt and the accretion never came at the same time. UK is staggering out these abilities, I assume, to try and make it so that Leaf is always worrying about one of them, but at the same time that minimizes the effectiveness of each unless you're getting a very, very good hit on your accretion, and that just isn't happening consistently enough to mean that that's a viable strategy.
2 minutes and 17 seconds in the time bank for France now. King's Row, rather treacherous place. It's almost a miracle hold on second point there for the UK. We don't normally see too many defenses going through the streets onto second, but UK, what are they going to do on their offense? They got to know Leaf is going to be on this Farah. Soon, obviously, on the Bastion too. Leaf can play around this hotel as well, especially when you're attacking this, when you're defending this point even. How many ways can you look? Well, there's only one way you can look, right? Especially with Sigma and Orisa Shield. You're going to have to make a rather fast taxi, either under or around and over to where Soon's kind of located, because I can imagine he's going to be up on this high ground, or even potentially not, actually, I say that. Oh, no, okay, so he's going on to the other high ground with a mini. But then Leaf is going to be sitting there right on the side, just punishing this entryway, and we saw it in the last series earlier on today with the Faras. They get so much free ult charge when the attackers are basically running and throwing themselves at the Bastion.
Yeah, and also, Jaws, it's all about the rotations as well. If you are planning a long rotation to try and force the positioning of a Bastion, that's when Farah's just free to just throw in all those rockets. Like you said, get the ult charge. And for now, France are actually playing together a bit more. Soon is sort of like acting as bait right here. Gonna disengage.
That is a huge boot. That is a huge boot from Kib. Immortality field used super early. You saw FD God almost fly into the team of UK. So now UK need to strike before that Immortality field comes back online again. KSP with a couple of headshots and kill onto Soon already. Storm Arrow is doing their work, and now Team France forcing to use their res super early again. Their tools to stay in this fight are waning right now.
There they are. Now, UK, they have possession on the point. Leaf needs to make something work here. He has to be the clutch factor, but soon coming in from the side.
Yeah, KSP hovering around that taxi does get taken out. And now Tech 36 taking out Smex. That window being used really early from FD God to supplement the damage from Soon. They're going to be able to control the point. However, UK basically get a free tick.
FD God and his amplification matrix fair draws, it was so important. Meant that KSP did not see that damage coming. It was just 900 DPS in his face. You've only got 200 HP as a Hanzo. You're only a shirtless Japanese man. You're not going to be staying around very long versus that minigun. Leaf now trying to duel out with Kib in the skies. Pharmacy versus Pharmacy. A double direct will do it, and that's exactly what happens.
Leaf was holding it around the hotel. Of course, that could be used as a backboard basically
again
for that AoE damage. Soon gets hit with the Rog. The long-range barrage from Kib, a little bit questionable, but he is going to get resurrected, and he does find the kill onto Soon. No res for France now. Hit pops the Valkyrie to sustain the team through the oncoming damage. Kib now on the point, just got so much room to work with. The window from FD God just before he goes down is going to be the only tool that France really have now to supplement the damage, as the rest of the tanks are just getting surrounded and just killed off one by one by one.
KSP needs to continue to check Leaf. You can see the Tracers waiting off from the wings, and Specs trying to bounce something into that, but it looks like France are all gone from this point, Jaws. It's going to be a cap for United Kingdom with 2 minutes on the clock. They'll get 2 minutes and 30 extra, about a 4-minute time back to try and complete point B. So long as they can get through this first archway here, it will likely be in their favor, and all of France have got pretty far back spawns. Going to take them a while to coalesce around a defensible area. I'm very happy with United Kingdom's choice of DPS here. Bringing out the Hanzo, I think, is a good choice. Question is, what's he going to swap over to if he does want to? Right now, United Kingdom likely a conversation within their team. What do we want to do? France have moved over now onto the Tracer. I think this is going to be a much better way to deal with Boombox on this Zenyatta, who's very vulnerable to a one-clip.
Even just the splash damage as well. Oh, Soon. Oh my goodness, that was close. Okay. Boombox almost double tapped his head, but now Soon having to recall is kind of disastrous for him. Has to play a little bit more defensively, but it doesn't really matter because France laying down that supercharger with the immortality field. Immune to basically everything in the UK, have to back off for now. Funny Astro and Boombox end up going down. And France are now going to take a nice position on the high ground for Leaf especially. We talked about it before, how Leaf can kind of hover around these buildings and wait for the UK basically to overstep, or not even overstep, just try and get to the payload, and then the archway provides just infinite cover for it.
Yeah, so much cover. Soon not going to be using any of that. Sitting out in the open at the moment, just trying to hide, wants to try and get another one of those one clips. Last time it was onto KSP, who's now swapped over onto the Reaper. A lot more health to try and deal with. He's already invested his teleport.
Nice little hold there as well. The barrage is going to come through. That Grafs gets a little bit of it done, but still not enough to save Astro, unfortunately. Resurrection onto Leaf as well. KSP finds the one tap onto Soon as the window's being used to supplement the damage from Leaf. The grasp up in the air, and that should be it for another push from the UK. Accretion is going to get used, although I thought that may cancel the grasp, although it didn't in the end. But the problem with the UK, once again, is trying to deal with Leaf high in the sky.
UK having to brawl out. KSP finds himself alone in this alley, going up against Tech 36. He will get the kill, Jaws.
Yeah, beautiful coalescence there coming through from Boombox. Did manage to navigate the rest of his team around the payload. France had nowhere to go. Was permanently in the sight lines, and everybody was bunched up. Now UK can finally get it moving again. France have got one more hope to defend. Soon's just getting a bit of extra time on the payload, not too
Ring
bad.
around for Rosie from a wave walk. And there, United Kingdom just decided to go for the Will Ignore Pharmacy, and we're just going to try and overrun Tech 36, and it seemed to have worked out a lot better for them. But there isn't so much threat coming through from a Bastion that demands attention like a Reaper does. Now Soon's going back over onto that Bastion, knows that United Kingdom are having a lot more trouble dealing with this. Kib hit with a long-range accretion, forced to use his Ice Block. He can't get aggressive now. He doesn't have that get out of jail free.
Yeah, Soon back on the Bastion's pretty scary there, if I do say so myself. 3 meters now remain. UK still need to touch this and make sure France are pushed away. Leaf now with the barrage in the back line. They're going to have to be careful. They send out the Hulk, and now this is go time for Leaf. He's going to get himself in position. Funny Astro's going to go down. KSP already on the retreat. The UK know they haven't got the cooldowns really to deal with Leaf right now. The accretion's going to come out, does miss, and Spec's a little bit trapped. His health bar is going to be fed into the old banks of France if he's not careful.
4.5 minutes, Jaws. It quickly dissipated. 1 minute and 16 seconds remain. France look to be very set for this next fight. A supercharger and a barrage will get rid of one person very quickly, especially if you can catch Boombox midway through this coalescence. That's a play right now for Leaf. Wait until the coalescence comes out. Fade isn't available. Easy clap. Put the barrage on top of him. Get rid of that ultimate. Get that pick away. And then you're relying on Funny Astro to be the one to sustain everyone. And does he want to use that sound barrier at that point? There's only time for 1 or 2 more fights.
UK have also got to force out the Immortality field to basically get a free Blizzard. There's the beat KSP from the heavens. Isn't going to be able to find a position to use the Death Blossom just yet, as Chubbs' Supercharger ends up instantly going down. Leaf now with the Barrage high in the sky, kills off Fusions and Specs. The Coalescence can't even take him out either. He's getting perma-pocketed. Soon in the backline's going to get frozen, but the rest of his team are going to be able to crumble around him, and this is going to be it, really. There's 28 seconds now remaining for the UK to attack. France making their stand on second point.
Chubbs' positioning was so good there. He was in the corner with his Supercharger. He was keeping the car contested. UK, they need to bring their heads together. It's not looking good for them. 15 seconds remaining. They're moving into the tank form. You know that Tech 36 is going to have this gravitic flux so quickly. An early pick here is exactly what the UK need. They don't really have the power for it, though. They don't have long-range damage. Only if Kip can hit a headshot. Smex, you've got to do the flux of a lifetime, buddy.
The OT's now ticking down. UK have got a couple of ults online, and the perfect rock onto him. But Leaf is still alive. Smex goes down. KSP has to get a miracle ult here, but already has to use the Wraith Walk. He's now in danger. UK can still touch this payload. A nicely placed Death Blossom kind of straight on top of the barrage from Leaf, though he knew it was coming. France burning down the OT. The UK fall on second point and tie the series up one apiece.
It will all be decided on Escort now. France coming back after a rollicking, shall we say, on Control Jaws. United Kingdom not looking overly strong right now, faced with a specific composition. Going up against the Pharah, going up against the Bastion. It feels like they don't know how to deal with it.
One apiece for both the UK and France currently. France coming off a hot game win up against Korea. Definitely feeling themselves right now. Escort's coming to the game side, like you said. We're going to head over to Gibraltar.
There we are. What we're going to see here, KSP on Widowmaker would be, I think, a good bet, but Soon is more than happy to take those Widow's duels, as we saw during some of his early seasons with LA Valiant. He became a very well-known Widowmaker, one of the best in the world, some would say. And you could also say that occasionally we'll just see a bit of a Rest of Sigma here. This was one of the areas where Winston was at his best, but Winston quite useless at the moment. So much control can be applied to him, whether it's Reaper just corralling him whenever he tries to make a dive, or Doomfist punching him away. I'd love to see the UK go into this mirror matchup again, but they can't force it. They're not good enough against the Bastion and the Pharah to say, okay, France, you have to come and play our game, you have to come and play the meta game. Leaf right now, just untouchable on this Pharah. There needs to be, I want to see a Mei and a Hanzo, so that we can have the wall up on that Bastion, and then the Storm Arrow applied to it. Or we see maybe a wall and a Halt. They need to be combining these things, maybe put Boombox on the Ana, wall into Sleep Dart. Right now, they've only got the wall part of the strategy.
Yeah, Wall Dart, Wall Dart, Wall Nade, one of those two will do it. That's what most teams have been running right now, of course, is just takes Bastion out of action. As long as you don't touch him either, to be fair, not only does it burn cooldowns, but it gives you a fair amount of time to kind of reposition yourselves in a better position. Of course, normally you do hate it when people wake up, the people that are sleeping, and this is the perfect time to kind of let them lie, and then, hey, what are you going to do now? Well, you're going to have to wait for your Bastion to wake up, because I'm not putting down this wall either. We're not going to touch him. We're going to get a better position to try and fight you in.
And not only that, when you take that better position, the enemy can't out-rotate you, because Bastion is so vulnerable, they cannot pre-move and leave him alone. Otherwise, you'll be able to catch him as he makes his rotation towards the new enemy emplacement. I want to see some cleaner combos from the UK to deal with this Bastion. Otherwise, France is going to start to run away with this. This is a very good map for Bastion in some cases. You get him on top of the Starship and the hangar, it's going to be easy clap.
And it is. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. We've got Escort coming up on your screens very soon. Welcome back, everybody. UK versus France. The penultimate map.
The ultimate map.
Yes. UK and France, one apiece. France and UK fighting for their lives, but...
Someone's going to walk away with a W here.
Yep.
Someone's going to walk away with a fat L in that column.
France, they could go 2-1 up today as well.
Yeah, UK really needs that win. Didn't do very well against South Korea, as many would have predicted. France, the other way around. Looks like they've really come alive after that absolute destruction, a slap at the hands of the USA roster. UK going to be starting off here on the defense. Jaws coming out with the May and the Reaper. Evidently this is their plan to deal with France's composition, which is staying the same. Don't fix what ain't broken if they can't break it.
Well, it's going to go down first. Not the
Car's still moving there.
not the best start in the world if you're France. Not too much of a worry though. Rather quick spawn for the Mercy. Get back into action rather quickly.
Hib's just going to resurrect himself right now. Fusion's trying to claim all of this space. Where is Fusion's at the moment? That's a really good shield. Tech 36 is doing such a good job of putting up these barriers in front of Soon when he gets walled up. This is countering the counter strategy, and Soon feels invincible on this Bastion right now.
Yeah, that he will. They've been feeling pretty invincible on this comp regardless. He's got quite a few less avenues of attack though, which is the only problem. The idea of a two-pronged attack, like you force the enemy to look one way while you kind of deal with them either on the Bastion or Vara, it doesn't, not really evident here. Big flank from the UK actually try and get onto high ground to deal with Soon.
God, such a cut though, it's so close, Jaws. Who's going to have to rotate onto it? It's going to have to be Kib, but right now he's getting pressured. KSP going to have to expend his cooldowns here.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, he bought a lot of time though, so UK could actually rotate back down again. Beautiful hold. Grass is going to eat most of that damage up. Leave gets halted back in, so close to Barrage though. As long as he stays alive, they should be okay. Soon getting perma-pocketed and perma-body blocked as well by Tech 36, who takes out KSP. Immortality Field been used and destroyed on the side of France as Leaf takes out Fusions. Ready and waiting with the Barrage. Soon being alive as well is pretty bad for the UK. KSP going down as well and just forcing out the cooldowns with this Barrage. It might be all that they actually need.
Yeah, forcing out the cooldowns was exactly what was needed, Jaws. Smex no longer can defend himself. The same can be said of Kib. Why is Soon using this? I'm not entirely sure, but it's certainly going to put a full stop on this particular sentence of point A Gibraltar. France going to move on forward right now, and UK still look confused, Jaws. How do you deal with this Bastion? How do you deal with this Vara? Right now, we think of a Mabel would be what it is, but Tech 36, this man's cerebral. This man's playing 7D chess. He's playing underwater mahjong when it comes to these shield placements. Soon is feeling invincible.
That he is. They're in the spaceship now, so Kib wanting to drop down on them with that Blizzard. Just trying catching Soon, but obviously having to deal with Leaf's a bit of an issue too. Fusions drops alone there. He's actually all alone. Like someone just needs to kill him. Okay, they're spraying down there with the Moira to try and find the healing, but it's not going to be enough. Fusion's isolating himself, and in fact, Boombox going down to the headshots through the window from FD God.
With the damage boost from the Valkyrie as well. Right, for that moment, FD God was even more of a DPS than usual. Soon, seeing if he can mount up on that particular mounting hardware. Leaf now has such commanding sightlines. No one's going to be able to get in without suffering rocket damage, and they've already got the second point, Jaws. Too late to contest. It's over.
Take 36 going down, doesn't matter. 5 minutes on Gibraltar to move through third. This is absolutely disgusting performance from France right now. UK pushing them all the way back though.
They're going to be respawning behind them though.
Yeah, well that's also an issue that Leaf also has Barrage again, and he's just going to be able to sit on top of them. UK still stalling out for a lot of time, forcing the cooldowns, and even ults coming out through from France. Specs and Tech 36 end up trading. Winner coming out from Soon though, tracking people so well. Gets frozen up by Kib, who's just trying to take out FD God. Doesn't quite manage to snipe away Soon, but they eventually corral around him.
Cart moved a little bit here by France. Right now, they're just going to collect themselves and spawn. They don't need to continue taking this fight. They don't need to stagger themselves in because they're not really gaining anything here. UK is just gaining the time back that they lost. 4 minutes and 20 left on the clock. Pretty nice. It's going to be a long defense here for United Kingdom. They need this stability.
Secretion from long range. That's a really nice Secretion. Actually pushed Sigma back. Smex is taking a little bit too much damage. Has to rely heavily on Boombox here. You can see him using the Coalescence to try and see them through the fight. Leaf going very aggro. Barrage right on top of the boxes. Fighting Astro, Cruz, sorry, almost taking him out, but peaked a little bit too long. And the Barrage clips him as he tries to get back in cover again. UK fought it, however, they've burned a minute and a bit off the time bank.
UK now, though, Jules, they do not have any support ultimates, so they're going up against the Supercharger. They're going to have to match aggression with aggression, but Hip can sustain France, and that's going to allow them to be around in that fight for much longer, especially with this premium on positioning. Look, Chubbs can put down the Supercharger behind this pillar, and it'll be very difficult to assail. Here it is.
Lifting people up in the skies though. Nice little shield there from Smex waiting for it, but look at this damage coming out from Chubbs already. Nice little position. You can see everybody looking up in the sky at Leaf to make sure he doesn't get any free real estate. Flux is going to come out from Smex. See, look how passive they're playing. Like, he can't even peek. There's no point. Window available from FD God. KSP hoping for the clutch of his life. Jumps back down, but look at that Immortality for doing so much work, and he gets taken out by Leaf regardless, but the damage was already there. I mean, at that point, you're like, okay, so we either press Q right here all at once, or we just lose the map.
Do you want the good news or the bad news, Jules?
Both.
Good news is France going to have a little bit more trouble getting into position with a Bastion right now. The bad news is that they still have 2 minutes and 45 seconds to try and make something work, and Sue's going to go over to the Reaper instead. They only need to win one fight. Is that a Tracer? I see. It worked out last time. Got a quick one clip onto KSP. It seems like when KSP goes over onto the Hanzo, like we wanted to see versus the Bastion, that's when Sue thinks, I've got a perfect counter for this. I'm just going to bring out the old time demon herself.
Oh, Leaf getting tagged a little bit there as well. KSP will be able to check the Farah a little bit better. Farah's got Barrage though. These barrages have just been ridiculously good recently. However, here freezing everybody up in the front line. Yeah, no way Tech 36 surviving that one.
I guess this is a swap here from Leaf.
Yeah, that seems like it. That seemed a bit ambitious.
But perhaps very glad to have destroyed himself on Smex's shield rather than giving over.
He's sticking on
Farah.
Farah.
He's sticking. It's surely.
Whoops a daisy then.
And they're going back to the Bastion. So much of a time bank here has been drained by United Kingdom, so they can be happy about that. Okay, France have decided what composition we're going to have now. Whoever's shot calling them has definitely called the shots, as it were. Soon and Leaf now going to be looking to outduel KSP and Kip, who are at a significant disadvantage when it comes to engagement power. Leaf needs to be checked. Who's going to be able to do that? It's going to have to be the Fire Freeze.
Yeah, you just got to take out that Supercharger. Tech 36 looking away for a brief moment, making sure no one is collapsing on him from behind. He's getting pooped away by Cruz, straight on top of the payload, straight into a freeze and behind shields as well. Little healing was available. That Dragon Strike straight through the rest of the team. It's the UK now making a stand here on third point. France with only a minute remaining.
KSP flexing that hero pool. Hip still has this coalescence. It's going to be very important here to penetrate multiple barriers and try and finish off people who get punched by Leaf. In the case of Kib and KSP, they've got 250. They've got 250 HP, so it's going to be difficult to get that one shot, but you can finish them off so effectively with that coalescence.
Kib is sitting there on that Blizzard for so long though. They're going to have to watch out. Smex brings everybody up high. Beat and Coalescence used at the same time. There's the Blizzard straight after the Flux. Not much else you can really do. Supercharger was invested by Chubbs as well. Straight in the middle of it. You pop that down, it's like, okay, now you try and assault us. Like, now you try and kill us. You can't. You have to either escape the Blizzard or you die.
Exactly that. Oh, okay. For a second I thought Leaf was an attack. I was like, he managed to break into the spawn somehow. But no. Once again, it is their offense. France, for all at all shores, none of them are over 50% except for Soon, who's trying to get towards that Death Blossom. 8 seconds remain. France, who had such a huge time back here, could be scuppered at the end of Gibraltar.
5 seconds left. They're still touching payload, so they're good for the time being. Beat's going to come through. FD God ends up going down to KSP, and now Leaf baiting people in. Trying to kill off Smex, but he had overshield, so he doesn't go down to sub-shield health. Like, the guy is immortal at this point. France get absolutely demolished on this third. And United Kingdom clean them off with a team kill. They managed to hold 81 meters. That golden box of victory is so close to that third point. It might as well be a cap. But now the UK have a win condition clear in their sights.
But Jaws, you, I, and everyone in the stream, we've got to cast our minds back just a couple of minutes to the defense of King's Row. That's where the Bastion and the Pharaoh were really at their most effective. That defense very much messing with United Kingdom. Potentially France are going to bring out the same thing. They know that trouble is had with this. Until United Kingdom can win a fight and force the Bastion to engage into them on the offense, and France are more than happy to play this. And if you can continually set up on the defense, just hold it a little bit further back, allow that card to push a tiny bit, then you can continue to play that composition a lot more effectively.
Now, has this small break between game 2 and 3 helped the UK in any way? Of course, they knew France is going to run Farah and the Bastion. It's their favorite comp thus far. And it's been working out for them thus far. Like, why would, like you said before, why would you change it, right? It's been working out so well. Maybe KSP and Kib need to go on the Doomfist and Reaper, and they just take the fight to them in a sense. Again, ignore the Farah. That's sometimes a strat that does work out. Ignore Farah, jump on Bastion, hopefully you kill him, but FD God stands in their way, Hip stands in their way with both Immortality Field plus the res. If Hip gives enough time, it's catch-22 some of it.
Hip is getting time. Hip is having so few of his resurrections interrupted jaws. There's great peel from France, great coalescence around an area where someone dies to ensure that Hip is not suffering in that case. Kib and KSP going over to double projectile. I quite like this. Create a crossfire, make sure that the mental bandwidth for Tech 36 is tested so that you can continue to get damage onto Soon and force a panic here from the side of France.
Nice little Grecian. Whoa, that was close. He's good though, he's good. KSP is going to continue to punch these shields. That is a very big flank. Hip already having to burn the res. Boombox is on the Zenyatta as well. If they discord the Farah, it will be fairly easy clean up for Kib if he lands a direct, but he's going to have to be hoping for it. And dueling out with Leaf in the skies has not worked out for him so far, and it's not going to work out for him this time either.
So the edge as well, Jaws, no resurrection will be available. Most is going to have to rejoin the rest of the team. Crew's going to be there. Specs going in for a flank again. May well have the accretion, but he has been spotted out. Thanks to that Sonic arrow, he knows that Leaf is aware of his presence, and FD God's ready to bring out the amplification matrix. If someone finds himself in front of Soon, we're going to have to rotate around to the other side and force the uselessness of that ultimate.
Oh dear, Smegs. Dyson with death right now as Leaf goes for the 1v1. Well, I say 1v1. Imset is back as well.
Hello, Fusions.
Windows being used by FD God too.
Just camping out.
UK are just having such a hard time moving around this corner. And now Immortality Field being thrown out too. Maybe this is UK's chance. They destroy it and maybe they pick off Soon, but he's just getting so much support. It's a little bit unbelievable. Plus they have time to like move around as well. Although I say that, big flux coming out. Soon lifted up into the sky, taken out eventually, accretion onto the enemy Sigma as well. Finally, France's defense is gonna get taken out as UK do push the payload underneath this big archway, but issue is right now for France. Yeah. Not only have they burnt half the time bank, they still get another defense, and Leaf has barrage.
Exactly that, potentially 2 defenses as well, depending on how fast they move in. 2 minutes on the clock, couple of ults as well. Soon, Widowmaker going up against Kib. Kib's going to have to try and go for solo barrage potentially, but he cannot be caught in this small area, otherwise he will be demolished.
Soon's back on his famous Widowmaker as well. KSP finds a nice little entry kill. Barrage in the back, there we go, Kib, and KSP filling the kill feed. France didn't see that one coming, and UK will end up capping this first point. 4 minutes in the time back now to move through the hangar.
Will soon swap over from this Widowmaker. This is one of the greatest points for Widowmaker in the history of Overwatch. We've seen so many clips on the hangar of Watchpoint Gibraltar. Taimu sniping between boxes to get headshots in ways that many would consider unbelievable beyond the mechanics of the game. Only the mechanics of one finished sniper. KSP got this on lock. They're going to have to go through the low ground instead, making sure they avoid what's coming in from the top. Kib's going to rain down these rocket shores. Low on ultimates at the moment. The next fight may well be vanilla only, as Soon's going to back out. He's caught with a single arrow.
Yeah, damage boost. However, Soon does get resurrected. Accretion to try and stop the oncoming onslaught of France, and Soon finds the one clip onto KSP. Almost the perfect entry here for France to defend, and now they can hold these doors as well. Smex is going to get killed off, you know, pretty easy there, but now France are in a very, 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 very good position to hold these choke points. Soon has been absolutely monster on Tracer. Definitely a pick I didn't think I'd see today, I'm not going to lie.
Well, Soon is pretty happy to play this against a Farah as well, because his engagement range for maximum damage has been expanded to 13 meters rather than just 10, so if he gets onto slightly high ground, he can deal a lot of damage onto that Farah, especially if Farah's getting low, trying to hit those quick directs without much projectile travel time. Tech 36 can be caught out here. Has this Rabbinic Flux ready to go. He's playing aggressive to try and get for a ward, and Hip's already down, so France need to make a big play.
When you say that, he does get resurrected, but that gave UK enough time to take down Chubbs in that engagement. But Tech 36 sends everybody up in the air, and Specs and Kib end up trading. Like, this is so bad still for the UK. Chubb's going to be able to come back with that supercharger available to him as well, and they're still going to get another defense.
Time not on his side. He has been isolated now by the Dragon Strike. Tactical there by KSP, but they still haven't killed Kib. He's got the bonus healing from that Bardic Grenade, Jaws.
Beautiful little hold there, but it's not going to come of much, and now Chubbs can just plonk around this corner, just wait for that supercharger set up, and then Fusions is going to have to make the play to maybe try and destroy it. There's the Flux, the supercharger, yeah, not round the corner at all. Now to boost onto Tech 36, FD God gets taken out of the sky almost. Specs just trying to go for it, and he still gets the res off. Chubbs is going to come back into this fight and soon finds the kill onto the May. France still holding on to this point. Specs may have found the kill onto Tech 36. Boombox with a Transcendence in the back. France not out of the woods just yet. UK are still going to be able to regather their forces onto the payloads, but France is still going to get another defense.
Hanzo, Tracer, what game am I watching right now? Leaf's going to wait for that Mega Health Pack to come up, or it's going to be FD God coming in towards him. Still, this cart needs to move, Jaws. 1 minute and 30 seconds remains right now for UK to get through this second point, and soon caught in the back. This is exactly what UK needs.
Yeah, double DPS now dead for France. UK can now move forward with immunity almost. Chubbs is taken solo. The Discord is just doing so much work. Boombox back on an old favorite of his. KSP takes out Chubbs in the end. A minute remains for the UK. France are bleeding, but a Leaf comes out of nowhere and dunks on KSP. He gets traded out, but it's actually going to be enough because now actually Soon's back in the fray. Cruz gets the resurrection off, luckily, and they managed to pin in Chubbs against this wall, but Soon's still finding picks. How? A Tracer in this meta? You call him crazy, but he's still making it work. The UK are finally dealing with the rest of France, ignoring Soon almost.
Leaf's back
and now
as well.
Leaf
We got
is
two.
back. He's got 2 kills as well. Hip's going to get a bio-grenade kill on Smex. 30 seconds out for the UK.
It's
and
all
Leaf
falling apart, Jaws.
giving them the tactical crouch, a little bit of revenge. All the way back from Busan.
Soon and Leaf on the most clutch heroes is getting the one clip straight, getting the punches. There's not enough time for UK to react. They've got themselves a Blizzard. They've put KSP on the Reaper. Cruz is on to that Lucio. Everything for UK has really been changed up. They've given up 3 ultimates thus far. They've got to make it work. They've got to put people down into a Blizzard, try and combine these ultimates. Tech 36 can try and scupper their hopes though.
Coalescence not available for Boombox. They haven't got any support ultimates at all. FT God setting himself sky high, and Leaf starts out the fight, killing Boombox. UK have got no heals left. Leaf is going to find the kill, and even Tech eats Kib's ult. This is going to be it. France, in a blink of an eye, kill off the UK. Cruz trying to make it work, killing off Soon. He gets a little bit of revenge, and with Fusions, keeping everybody up and maybe well behind his shield. It was only good for 1 this time around. The supercharger wasn't enough, and France are going to bleed UK dry and take the series 2-1.
United Kingdom came in with a lot of confidence, and France started the day very poorly, but then they struck back. They took down South Korea. They've taken down the United Kingdom. France, a team of unrecognizable names in some cases. Soon one of the only veterans on this team alongside Hip. Leaf coming out with the Doomfist that made him famous back on Gamers Origin. France winning 2-1.
Just a ridiculous showing from France. A very, very slow start to the day, but taking some of the strongest teams and putting them through the ringer. UK and South Korea now going down at the hands of France. What a performance, and Soon as well. I mentioned it during the hangar phase there. I was like, you played Tracer, bro? You locking in Tracer? But he's like, he's finding pick. He's finding picks not only on the supports, but he found a pick onto Kib as well, who was on the May. That's a duel the May probably should not be losing. What an incredible performance from France, rebounding back in the most epic fashion. Denmark versus the Netherlands will be the next game up today.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Il arrive pour le deuxième point, mais ils peuvent encore passer. C'est fait! Le double kill à domicile!
Last 2 years, represent France is a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in US or in Korea, it wasn't in France.
Unbelievable!
3 now for Soon!
He's not representing a team, he's representing a nation, and there's a ton of people watching you because they are French and they want us to win.
The The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.